So guys, as I finish another work day in my designated gig work vehicle, my 2008 Dodge Caravan, I was just tallying up my numbers and this thought came to me. So far this week, I've worked 5 days from Monday to Friday. And it's only 3:41, and that's a wrap for today. I could work all day if I want to. And throughout the week, I could have worked late, but I didn't. I could have had like long days, 12 to 15-hour days. But I chose not to work too much because I'm still on vacation from the W-2. So that's why I was able to work 5 days a week. But I'm really part-time delivery driver. I have a W-2, and when I'm off the W-2, I do a little gig work. Mondays and Tuesdays, on my days off, I really go hard. And I try to make at least $500 every single week as supplemental income along with my W-2 money. And it's been working. It's been really working. But in this video, I want to talk to the people who primarily only do food delivery. And when I say food delivery, I'm not talking about the shopping apps. I'm talking about DoorDash, Grubhub, or Uber Eats only. Maybe Uber Eats and DoorDash only. Because if you're doing Grubhub, I didn't met a guy that said he was only doing Grubhub. I don't know how he does it, but yeah, that's gonna be rough. Even though Grubhub do keep sending you orders once you keep taking them. But the whole thought here is, if you only do food delivery, you need to switch up your game. You really need to switch up your strategy, because you're putting yourself at risk to basically fail. And the reason why I say that is, you started doing food delivery to earn a little extra money because you probably, fell on hard times. The money from the W-2 isn't enough, or you lost your W-2 job and this is the only thing that's available. You don't really want to go back into whatever industry you were working in, and you want to do some food delivery. But most people do it part-time as, additional income to the W-2. But there are people that, they do it full-time because they like to work, like the flexibility. They like to work for themselves. But if you're doing DoorDash, you're using your own vehicle. You're not like me. It took a while for me to get here to have a designated gig work vehicle. Like, this is only for gig work. I don't really drive this for personal use. Well, it has become my personal vehicle because I fell in love with the vehicle. But all I do with this is gig work. I have an Acura MDX and I had a Honda Accord, and I use both those vehicles for gig work, and I don't want to use them no more. And the reason why I say that is, I was actually looking at my mileage, the money I make, and when I used to do only food delivery, DoorDash only, and then I added Uber Eats and Grubhub, I used to drive a lot of miles. And I didn't used to make like a lot of money every single week, but I used to rack up a lot of miles. And what ended up happening is I blew the tranny on my Honda Accord. So if you're only doing food delivery, you're going to have to do a lot of trips to make your money. You're going to be putting a lot of miles on your car, and you're basically driving your car straight to the junkyard, to the scrapyard. Basically, you're driving it into the ground. Can't put it any other way. And that happens when you only doing food delivery, because you're constantly picking up, dropping off, picking up, dropping off, shutting off your car, starting it back, shutting it off, starting it back. Driving a lot of city miles just to make this money, because the average order may come in like, let's say $6, 3 miles. Or there's people out there who don't know how to take orders, and they may take $6, 5 miles. So you're doing a lot of driving, a lot of city driving, putting a lot of wear and tear on your car. And I'll get to the real point that I want to make. I'll get to the real point. I'm looking at my numbers and I'm like, I'm at 1,062.11 for the week. And I've only driven 323 miles. None of these miles were driven doing any food delivery. I did not make a single dollar this week on DoorDash, Grubhub, nor Uber Eats. If I used those apps, maybe I would have, let's say I used those apps and I made $1,000, I would have to do a lot of grinding and my mileage would have been maybe about 700 to 800. And let's say I'm not using a designated vehicle and I'm using my personal car. That's me putting a lot of wear and tear on my vehicle. So if you're only doing food delivery, this is what I want you to do. You got to mix it up. You have to mix it up. Download some other apps. If you're doing DoorDash, or you're doing Uber Eats, or Grubhub, don't just add another food delivery app. You could add Instacart. You could add Shipt. You could add Spark, because what these apps are going to give you is a better dollar per mile ratio. And you're not putting a lot of wear and tear in your car to get to a certain dollar amount. Like you may do an Instacart order, $30. You're shopping for 20 items, it's going 6 miles. You see? You see the dollar to mile ratio? You see the dollar to mile ratio right there. For every mile you drive, you make $5. 6 miles, $30, 5 miles. $5 per mile. Instead of $2. Or you're barely, you're backwards. You see what you're upside down. You're driving 10 miles, you make $9 doing a DoorDash or Uber Eats delivery. You see what I mean? So if you download and sign up for apps like Spark, you may pick up 3 items at Walmart, or you might do a curbside pickup. And the money you'll make compared to what you'll make doing food delivery, there's a vast difference. You're putting less wear and tear in your car because you actually get to park your car, go into the store, let the engine rest, let it cool down, let it simmer, and you do your thing, you come back out, you drop it off, low mileage. You see what I mean? You drive back to the store, you do it all over again. By the time you check, you made $90, you only drove 20 miles. On opposed to if you're doing food delivery, you just here, there, everywhere. And you made $90 and you've driven 60 miles. I could talk from experience because I love my Honda Accord and I drove that thing into the ground. I was doing a DoorDash or Uber Eats order and my tranny just went. The RPM, I'm like, whoa, okay, that's a transmission. You see what I mean? I'm able to work on my own cars, but I wasn't getting into the tranny when it comes to the Honda Accord because it gets a bit complicated. You see what I mean? And I wasn't gonna get into that. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna just get rid of the car. Food delivery killed my Honda Accord. Then I started using my Acura MDX and I put on a lot of miles on my Acura, man. I put a lot of miles on my Acura. I regret it. I'm happy for the money, but I regret putting so many miles on my Acura. And there's been things that's been happening, that has happened to the Acura over the past few years. I had to change quite a few parts. And if I wasn't able to do it myself, it would have cost me a pretty penny. It really would have. So then I made the decision to get this vehicle. Paid $3,000 for it. And I've already racked up over, let me see, on the odometer here. I've racked up 1,418 miles on this vehicle. And that's miles that I would have been putting on the Acura. And during that time, I've made over $3,000. So I've already broke even, made my money back. I'm in the green when it comes to this vehicle. And I've only could have achieved that by signing up for other apps and not just doing food delivery. Guys, Roadie, that's my favorite app. That's the app that I make the most money on. It's a big vehicle. If you're driving an SUV, download Roadie. Download the last mile delivery apps like Freight, Dispatch, Curry, whatever you have in your area. You could even sign up for TaskRabbit if you're handy and you're good with your hand. If you have a big vehicle you want to do moving jobs. Instacart, Spark, Shipped, Metrobi. There's quite a few apps out there. Am I missing any other apps? The catering delivery apps, you know, apps like Delivered, Zifty, and there's a few more. But don't just depend on DoorDash. Don't just depend on Uber Eats. Because what you're doing, you're just setting yourself up for failure, for disaster. You're going to run your car into the ground, and it's going to cost you a lot more money in the long run. You see what I mean? I want to talk about the benefits and the advantages of getting your own designated gig work vehicle as well, because, you know, there's a lot of cons when it comes to using your vehicle for gig work, food delivery. So some desperate times, you know, I know you know desperate times require desperate measures, and you got to do what you got to do, but you also have to have a game plan. You have to pivot. So I know I was a little all over the place, you know. I don't know, maybe I was, but I really wanted to send this message out to help people who are just only doing food delivery, because I see them all the time. Unless you're using a bike, you know, where you're not really using gas, or you're not really, you know, pumping a lot of money and wear and tear, you know, you could easily replace a bike. But for those of you using your personal vehicles, it's time to pivot. Sign up for as many apps as you could. Use DoorDash, Uber Eats, and Grubhub as your secondary or tertiary apps when you don't have anything going on. On the other apps, you could just do a food delivery order here and there. And if you do listen to me and you pivot, you're going to realize, man, I don't even want to do food delivery anymore. Because for me personally, I hardly do food delivery. Like I tell you, I haven't done any food delivery orders all week. And I'm still doing great. I've only worked 3 apps this week. Roadie, Spark, and Instacart, in that order. I've been making my money. Roadie, my king app. Spark, my secondary. Instacart, my tertiary app. Make a change, make some moves, pivot. Stop, you know, driving your car into the ground for these companies. They don't care. They just want to get their food delivered. You see what I mean? Customers don't care about your car. These companies don't care about your car. Yeah, they might give you discounts for, you know, maintenance here and there, and discount on gas or whatnot. Yeah. But do they really care? I don't think so. They don't make sure you maintain your car. You see? So the message is protect your assets. That's your car. You see what I mean? Pivot. Sign up for more apps. You're going to make more money. I want to teach you more things, but I think that's all I have for today. I just want to do this in one take, you know, just to get this message out, because, you know, I have so many thoughts that I want to share, but it's the time that I don't have, you know what I mean? So as I just, you know, reflect on what I did throughout the week, I just want to give, you know, you guys a few pointers, man, you know what I mean? So, yeah, it feels good, man. It feels good. 300 plus miles this week, and I made $1,000. I love it, man. I love it. You know what I mean? I love it. So in the comment section down below, let me know what any takeaways from this video. If you have any questions, you know, let me know how many miles you've driven this week to make whatever money you're at, and let me know if what I'm saying make any sense to you, because I think it does make sense, man. Like today I drove 46 miles, I made $170. I only did a handful of orders, you see. So I'm not out there killing the vehicle. I'm taking my time, I'm driving slow, I'm following the road rules and everything, and I'm staying on top of my maintenance whenever the time comes around. So do the same. Do the same. So guys, I'm your boy Dom. This is Gigabyte NYC with another, well, I don't even know what to call this series, but just want to, give my thoughts on gig economy, So check out the shorts that I've been putting out on the channel. I've been making more shorts these days because editing videos is really time consuming, and I'm trying to cut down on the ride-alongs and do more of this style type videos. So guys, subscribe if you're new, like the video if you haven't yet done so, and until next time, peace out and Godspeed. I'll see you soon.